Hi, everyone. So I'd like to share a quick story with you of an experience that I had on my way home from work. And it all takes place at a single local liquor store, and it's kind of like a mixture of a great dream and a worst nightmare all wrapped up in one. So if you've seen past videos of mine, and even comments I make on both my own and other people's content, my experience in New Jersey in terms of allocated bottles, and most specifically Buffalo Trace, pretty much is in New Jersey, stores by me, it's almost always behind the glass, if you can even find it. And that's a big if. If you can find it, it's usually behind the glass or behind the counter, and always at crazy prices. That's always been a fact, period. Hard stop. And I mean, anything other than that has been way, way back when they did have occasionally some good bottles at at lower prices. But we're talking like basically the last few years. That's been the rule. So today I happen to make a very quick stop at a local liquor store that I kind of like to see. And mind you, this is a very reasonably priced store overall. And I have gotten things there before, and I've gotten lucky there. So I happen to walk in, just go to the bourbon section, and my eye kind of catches the top shelf, literally the top shelf. And I'm literally stunned because I see all these Buffalo Trace products on the top shelf, one after another, stuff you would never see on a shelf. So this is the part of that's the really good dream. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have all these Buffalo Trace products right there on the shelf. That's before I see the prices. So basically, first of all, I've never seen any of these products, we'll call just on a shelf. It's usually behind the glass or behind a counter. They're right there on the shelf, on the top shelf, and literally one after another. But then I see the prices. And this is what I'm going to read off to you. So basically, this is exclusively, I think I saw a Jack Daniel's 10 at a crazy price, but I'm going to put that aside. And I'm going to talk about these products. So basically, in no particular order, I'm kind of like going in the order that I saw them. But as I said before, Buffalo Trace, the flagship Buffalo Trace, I've said in other videos, I see them for $44 minimum in New Jersey. It was $44. The one store that I can get it at $32, I don't even think it's there anymore. Okay, Buffalo Trace flagship, $44. It's ridiculous, but it gets a lot worse. Eagle Rare, 10-year. This is all, by the way, this is all 750 milliliters. Eagle Rare, $99. Now, I thought it was ridiculous when I saw Eagle Rare at a different store, not too far from this store, and I saw that for $79. And this is $99. Mind you, I used to get Eagle Rare for $37 to $39 by me. Okay. Then next to that was the EHT single barrel, $199. Now this is expensive, but probably not as ridiculous as the Eagle Rare. But and by the way, this is kind of what I want. If you in the comments of when I list any of these, if any of these you think that are even close to something you would pay, I'd like to know it, or what you think, what your kind of top is, what you would pay. Because believe me, I paused on a few of these. So, all right, the EHT single barrel, $199. I know that's more than it should be, but I'm curious just how much more you think that is, and where your top would be. This is the one that got me, the next one. Okay, so the Elmer T. Lee. I've never seen this literally on a shelf like this. We can actually touch it. It's always hidden somewhere, behind a glass, behind a counter. $199. Now, that is the lowest I've ever seen Elmer T. Lee, because it's usually, I've seen it for like, always over 200, 240, behind the glass, etc., all that stuff. All these is like that. $199, so $200. So that, I was like, what is... I know the MSRP on MLT Lee technically is $60, but so I'd like that one especially. I'd like your input on what you think the highest is you would pay for that. This was $199. Okay, Blanton's. This is the same deal we see other places. $139. It's ridiculous, and I've seen that in other places. I'm not even going to spend time on that. That's just silly. Weller 107 Antique, $189. That is even more expensive than other places. I've seen it in $139. I take it back. I've seen it for north of 200 once. But Weller Antique, $189. And now the kicker, the last one, Weller CYPB. Haven't even seen it anywhere. I get the exact price, but it was just about $300. That's my experience. And while I tell you this, I'm sipping on this Buffalo Trace Kosher that I got at a reasonable price for this at $49 at ShopRite Liquor. So I left, did not buy any of this stuff. But the point is, I've never seen it on a shelf. It's actually on a shelf. It's kind of like a tease. It's out there on a shelf. They're not hiding it behind the glass. It's one after another, literally on the top shelf. But then that's these prices. I just found this very odd. It was on. I just like I think, are they playing a game with me here? Like they're putting it out there, but it's not something I'm gonna buy. But anyway, I'd be curious to know, especially on the Elma T. Lee at $1.99 and the EHT single barrel of $1.99. Specifically those two. I'd be curious what your high is that you would go, where you would kind of say, okay, this is my top. I am curious because the Elma T. Lee is like, it had me thinking, as crazy as it is, I'm like, I don't see it that often, and that's actually the cheapest I've seen it. So anyway, that's my experience for today. Went in, went out, got nothing, but just curious of your thoughts. That's it. Take care. Thanks for watching.